V for Vendetta. A beautifully shot, very graphic, yet emotional dystopian fiction that rings incredibly true to reality. So, V for Vendetta, I feel like I said a lot already. It's going to be a short review because it doesn't need an explanation. But V for Vendetta is based off of a graphic novel that came out in 1982. Very forward thinking, beautiful book. I have not read the book. I say it's beautiful just because a little that I know about it, and this is based on it. I do not know where these things differ or if the movie is spot on to the graphic novel, but you can be free to tell me in the comment section or email me or somehow contact me and let me know. Yeah, very beautiful. 2006 is when it came out, which is after 2001, which we're going to get to and why that's important. Basically, this is the story of a man, a tortured soul who seeks vengeance and justice and wants to make things right in the world. And it's not just about his personal gain. He is not endowed with any superpowers the way we would think of them at all. He's more of like a Batman type of hero, or anti-hero would be better. He is he's equipped with knowledge and discipline and will, as well as some other things, as being an expert with some types of weaponry. But this is a beautiful movie in many aspects. It has a lot of action. It has beautiful shots. It has great dialogue. But the thing is, it is a dystopian fiction. And amongst dystopian fictions, this has some very moving and emotional passages in it. Incredible scenes that definitely bring this home for you as an individual. But not only that, I mentioned how realistic it is. It is not some dystopian fiction where it's just like an entertaining, fun thing to think about. This movie is incredibly thought-provoking, especially in the wake of 9/11. That is because there are a lot of things that are illustrated here that happened. And this movie was, again, this is 2006, 9/11 is 2001, but the book that it came from was 1982. So again, very forward thinking. I don't know how many things they really emphasized in the movie that weren't emphasized in the graphic novel because they wanted to make certain points in the wake of 9/11 and how the governments maybe handled that situation. Example being maybe taking advantage of their citizens. There are a lot of things here that have to do with government propaganda, fear-mongering, and creating a dystopian world on purpose and being very deliberate. It's not about some crazy freak thing that happens that leaves the world in ruins and everyone's got to deal with it, or there's zombies, or there's some weird asteroid apocalypse thing, or... No, this is about a country waging war on itself for control and power. Yet, despite the graphic, gory nature of some of these fight scenes, it's very Matrix-esque in a way without that like cyber futuristic feel. It feels very authentic for this, but the fight choreography is similar to a degree, minus like the slow-mo bullets whizzing past you type. Again, without that cyber futuristic feel. But there are beautiful fight scenes, and sometimes it gets very graphic and very gory. But there are just incredible passages of poetry and beautiful, emotional and touching scenes that can speak to you as an individual rather than just even an individual in this society, but just as an individual person with, you know, your own thoughts and feelings and histories and desires and wants and needs. And I believe that's one of the strengths of this movie, that I never saw the trailer for it, and I've seen this movie about 3 times since it came out. So I don't know how it was presented to the public at the time, but it is a story about true unity and how you can't kill an idea. And it talks about legacy and martyrdom and individual freedoms and censorship and choices and being a person. And what does that mean? In being a person in a society, and how does that work? Those are the things that this movie is about. V for Vendetta, just a great character too. Just V as the character. Just a very original and unique character, anti-hero that is very lovable but makes you question. He's got nuance and complexity, right? They do an amazing job of that. It doesn't feel forced, and it feels incredibly authentic. So as far as dystopian fictions go, this is one of the more unique and creative adaptations and also just stories that I have seen in a dystopian fiction. And a lot of it is just based on reality. And the thing is, too, we have the Guy Fawkes mask that is prominent. We have a little bit of history in the movie about Guy Fawkes. And some people might know that mask from Anonymous, adopting that as kind of a moniker for themselves. And you can kind of see the ties to that in the concepts here. That's really all I'm going to say about V for Vendetta. I think that you should watch it. It is dark only in the way that reality is dark. I don't think it is very purposely dark. It has a lot of actually beautiful, bright moments, but it is in contrast to the reality of the situation that they're living in, which is being under the threat of totalitarian government that is presenting themselves as being united for the people. And things are dark, and there's a lot of deception and propaganda, and things get real. But it's not dark in the way that I would say a lot of other things that I've reviewed and said they are dark. It's not dark in that way. It has a lot of action. It moves at a pretty fast pace, and there's definitely some twists and aha moments and subtleties and things to look out for. The concepts are handed to you pretty straightforward. It doesn't have a lot of layers per se, but it is done very beautifully in that aspect that it has a certain audience, and it is meant to give them this concept and these ideas on a plate. It doesn't want you to miss it, and yet it still feels natural and authentic and doesn't feel like it's beating you over the head with it either. So V for Vendetta, great film. One day I hope to possess the graphic novel, and maybe I'll end up doing a review on that. But V for Vendetta.